What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about two very big and very common ways men test women when they first start trying to get to know them, or when they first get acquainted, when they first ask them out, when they first start trying to deal with a woman. They do this for a very specific reason sometimes. So you want to make sure that you don't fail these tests, or you don't deal with these types of men who would test you in the first place. But before I start, if you need coaching, if you need to book a call, you can go to girltalkwithguys.com. The link is in the description. I do hour-long calls, half-hour calls, video calls. I have a coaching program. Whatever you might need, check the website at the link below. I also share my videos if you think they're helpful. If you don't want to share them with people personally, you can share them with media outlets on Instagram or on Twitter, or whatever you're willing to do to help get the word out. With that said, I want to get right into these two tests. The first very big way that some men test women is they operate in ambiguity, meaning they never give a straight answer. You can pretty much witness this from the first few interactions that you have with the guy. You know, while it's flirty banter, while it's playful in nature, when a man is avoidant to be very specific in his questions that he answers from you, when he's not giving real answers and it seems like a game, it seems like it's fun at first, it really becomes the culture in a relationship, right? So sometimes when you're bantering with a person, you've just gotten acquainted with him, you see there's some attraction, he's really not giving you real answers. He's avoiding certain things. You've kind of made a vibe or a dynamic out of him being avoidant of certain particulars. You think it's just friendly, flirty banter. You think it's just the moment, when it's really him strategically being manipulative and or manipulating the situation. Men know that you want to know these things. Men know when they're not answering questions. A lot of times if a man is doing this, while it might seem fun, it might seem playful, and it might make for a more interesting first experience or a better conversation, it might give you more butterflies, it might trigger your emotions a little bit more or trigger your interest just because he's like this, it's often strategic. Male dating coaches, especially red pill, alpha male, not necessarily women-friendly dating coaches, kind of dark energy coaches, they teach men specifically not to answer questions. They teach men specifically to be ambiguous in everything they do, to keep a woman guessing, to keep her on her toes, to avoid being straight with her, and not to acknowledge her request for information. This is taught to men. So when you fail this test, you've just invited him to bullshit no matter what the conversation is or how important the conversation is or becomes. This man will live in ambiguity because it's worked on you, it's intrigued you, it's pulled you closer to him. At this point, after you fail this test, he knows now he doesn't have to respect your mind or any request for information. Pretty soon he'll be telling you, I don't answer questions from women. Don't ask me no questions. It ain't none of your business. That type of stuff. That's how those relationship dynamics start. From a person not taking themselves seriously enough to require specifics, to require answers to their questions, or require any clarity in the information exchanged. Too often we think people are just very shifty in nature, but it's actually very strategic. In no other place in society can you be shifty in your answers to a question. You can't do that in school. Could you imagine these guys in school trying to write an essay response with a shifty answer? They wouldn't do it. It goes against human nature not to answer the question if you have the information. This is often a learned behavior when dealing with women, taught by male dating coaches who help men get more sex from women. The purpose is to give you more anxiety about them, build chemistry, build sexual tension, make you wonder, put you in a superior subordinate dynamic with them where they run things and you follow their lead, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if they intend to love or intend to attempt to love, or get to know you at least, but that's not normally the case. Normally, you're just on the chopping block for some ass. So you've established that a man doesn't have to respect what you ask him and respect your information request. He doesn't have to take you seriously or respect your mind. That's what you've taught him when you allow him to be ambiguous and you don't stop the fun, flirty conversation for a more serious dialogue or exchange of information sometimes. Too afraid not to be fun or not to be cute for a moment gets you played with in the long run. When a man is being ambiguous and you notice it and you call him out on it and he laughs about it and continues to be ambiguous, it's a game of leverage. You are about to play yourself. Moving on, the second thing people do, or the second thing that men are taught to do or men are doing to gain leverage on women and to test them to see if they can play with them or not, is they break promises on purpose, strategically break promises. They just randomly give you something that they're supposed to be doing. They randomly tell you they're going to do this or that. especially again in those first few interactions, in those first few days, in those first few weeks, maybe in the first few hours you know a person. They'll tell you, hey, I'm gonna call you, or man, I'm gonna take you out, I'm gonna do this or that. And they don't have any specifics because they've been operating in ambiguity. And then if they give you a specific, that night you're waiting for the phone to ring, they don't call. That day you're waiting for the date to start, you're hoping that they call you so you can go on this date that you've gotten ready for, been preparing yourself mentally for, and it doesn't happen. They stand you up, they tell you they fell asleep or some bullshit like that. Or if not those two examples, some other capacity in which they told you they were gonna do something, they didn't do it, and then they give you a weak ass nondescript excuse. They're looking to see how you respond to them breaking promises, how you respond to them not taking you seriously or taking their word seriously. They need to see how much you like them. Do you like them enough to be inconvenienced by the bullshit, by the ambiguity? Do you like them enough not to defend yourself? Do you like them enough to keep coming back after they've disappointed you, even though it's very early on or you just met them? If you fail this test, he knows now that you like him too much to back away, that you lack confidence in yourself. And now he doesn't have to stand on his word or any of the principles he says he has, because there's a high likelihood that you like him a lot more than he likes you. Now he's going to little girl you every time you try to stand up for yourself. He's going to put you in timeout. He's going to be distant. He's going to not return your phone calls. He's going to put you on ice anytime he needs to deal with you when you try to act like an adult and stand up for yourself. When you try to require anything of him, that's what you'll get. And ultimately, it'll work because he'll induce a lot of anxiety in you, a lot of separation anxiety. He'll induce a fear of loss or a fear of rejection, and now he'll be able to control you because he tested you in the beginning and you failed both tests. When a man breaks his promises or doesn't do what he says he's going to do, you have to call that out immediately and specifically. Don't let him stand in ambiguity. Don't accept ambiguity, and don't accept broken promises. Those are two ways that men test women from the very beginning, taught by other dating coaches that are in their dark energy, that get women hooked on men and get them played and manipulated and used. Don't do it. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Follow me on Instagram at KFig24. Share my videos if you think they're helpful. Hit the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't. I'll get with y'all later.